Awesome.
We are now recording. Hi,
Hi,
Kass. Hi,
hi
Margaret.
there. Merry
Hi,
Christmas.
Kass.
Happy holidays. Hello, beautiful Marge.
Hello, you darling.
How are you?
I'm amazing. I
You
just
are. And
Thank
gorgeous too.
you.
Are
Takes
you
one.
having your cake and eating it too?
I love having my cake and eating it too. I just had the most amazing lunch with some beautiful people, so it's been a great day.
Already. It
Yes.
feels like it's your birthday today for some reason.
I love having a birthday every day. Life's for celebration.
You've still got some beautiful sunshine there. Now you're on the Sunshine Coast.
I'm actually in Brisbane, which is about an hour and a half from the Sunshine Coast.
Which coast is that then? It's the
Brisbane is the actual capital of Queensland, and we're sort of between the Gold Coast and the Sunshine Coast. So there's about an hour to an hour and a quarter driving either side. But I'm right now. Right on Brisbane River, so I'm on water, and it's just beautiful.
awesome in the lovely Australia. Yeah.
It's a very hot Australia. We're actually got lots of bushfires going on right now, so a lot of intense heat and a lot of destruction with fires right now.
It's so amazing that the whole world, right, like this, because I asked Marge in what seems like an embarrassing question to me, because I always say to my Australian friends, we're going into winter. And they say, okay, well, when is that? When do you guys do that?
Yeah.
And so just opening up your, expanding your life to an international, global awareness. Just because it's December doesn't mean it's winter.
Exactly. Actually, last year, Christmas was my first winter in 60 years that I actually had in cold. So my son lives in London, and I actually had Christmas with him last year, and it was just such a different experience having Christmas in winter, because we're used to Christmas in the heat. So it was actually a real joy to experience something different.
Yeah, and so it's I can get with the idea of having Christmas in the heat, because when I was living in the States, I was living in New York, it would be cold in December for Christmas, we'd have snow, and then I'd go somewhere the day after Christmas where it was warm, but it was still winter there. It was just warm. But where you are is down under, below the equator.
Yes.
Right? Or south of the equator, I should say. And so you call from December 21st to March 21st, summer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The 1st of December is the first official day of summer here.
Wow. Okay. That just blows my mind. It's funny that we're just, it blows my mind. And Sophie girl is in Los Angeles.
Yes.
And it's summer there, isn't it? I mean, it's winter there, isn't it?
It should be warm, but unfortunately we've had quite a cold weather. It's been like in the 50s for like 2 weeks, which is not normal for us. It's like way too cold.
Wow.
Way too
cold. Well, it's 50s,
anyway.
50s here in Tokyo. Which is quite warm for them, and so I'm happy about that, actually.
Oh, good.
I think that's what is that, like 16 degrees Celsius or something? Are you on the metric system there, the Celsius system there, Marge?
Yeah, we are, yeah. I'm not good at converting though, but I was just in Hong Kong and I was expecting it to be cold there, but it was similar to what you're saying Japan is.
So maybe that's what it is about having your cake and eating it too. So tell us what that's about, honey. Tell us what that's about, and then we'll tell you how we maybe do that as well in our life.
Okay, so having your cake and eating it too was the book that I wrote, and it sort of came from not just the 13 years that I've been an access facilitator, but even prior to that, like I pretty much have been in this game for about 30 years now of coaching and facilitating people in many different modalities. And the one theme that I used to see all the time, or still see, is people's concept of not really knowing what to create or to even know that they have infinite choice. And so the book was inspired as that is, and I know that having your cake and eating it too title is a very British sort of title, but it's really about allowing people to see that it's not just about this choice or this choice. It's about knowing that they can actually have a smorgasbord of choice, and you can actually have it all. It's not about either or universe anymore. And to me, that was the real joy of writing the book, to empower people to know that they truly can have it all.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. You know, I got to say that I was talking with I'm in Japan doing some classes, and I was talking with a woman, and she said to me, "Thank you so much for the classes. They've changed my life. I have a sex partner for 20 years." And I said, "Oh, great." She said, "And then I have a husband." And I said, and I thought maybe it's a language thing. And she said, "No, I have, you know," and, you know, I realized that these classes have given me more of me, and I'm actually leaving my sex partner and starting a new life with my husband.
Oh.
All right,
Wow.
which was interesting and sweet and lovely. So I got to think, I asked someone about it, and they said, "Oh, was it a paid sex partner?" And she said, "Because there are mistress. Was it a mistress?" I said, "Well, I don't think can a mistress be a man, or is it a mistress?" So when you talk about having your cake and eating it too, I was thinking, just talking with Karen about what if that exists for women, because they have here where you have your wife and your family, and then you have your mistress and your family, and they're the family with the mistress, and then you have the whole geisha experience. And is there the equivalent for women?
Absolutely. I'm not sure about Japan, but I know there is in Australia.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you've got to look at, I mean, to me, I've always struggled with the whole, you know, one partner for the rest of your life. It was not something that was ever joyful for me. And I mean, I was getting divorced for the second time when I was turning 30. And to me, I just woke up and had this awareness of, you know what, marriage and one permanent man in my life just does not work for me. And so for the last 30 years, it's not something that I've created. To me, I'm not willing to keep doing the treadmill of the same thing, looking for a different result. So for me, you know, I've created my own reality around sex and relationship, and it's not what probably is what is normal in whatever normal is. Normal, I guess, for me is a cycle on a washing machine. To me, it's not like, to me, I've had to create my own reality that works for me. And, you know, my second husband has been married numerous times. I won't even tell you how many. But the thing is, what I see with him is he's working so hard to get relationship and marriage right from this reality's point of view.
Right.
But, you know, but he's destroying himself in the process.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to do that.
Yeah, how's it get any better? So having choice in relationship and being able to do it differently. I just watched the movie Roman Holiday with Audrey Hepburn and Gregory Peck.
Yeah.
I just watched that last night. Beautiful, just beautiful, lovely. And, you know, just thinking about the princess who falls in love with Gregory Peck. And because of what's normal for a princess, it couldn't be possible.
Right.
And the just brilliant acting showing that how much do we deny ourselves what's possible and what's real and what is, you know, the choices that may seem decadent but are life giving, right? Yeah.
And to me also, it has to do with the meanings we give to those institutions, right? So like marriage and relationships and sex and relationships, like how do we define that for ourselves? And how many people actually don't even look at that, don't even look at what that means for them?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's what I really could see prior to writing the book was most people aren't willing to actually sit down and get clear about what it is they truly desire to have as their reality around their money, around their relationships, around sex, around what they do that they find is fun and joyful. There's no concept of what it is. It's people just get on the treadmill and do what is told we're supposed to do from this reality, and none of that has ever worked for me.
Right, the treadmill and the washing machine. I love that. It's a little bit like we've been talking about with the algorithmic reality. You get on a game, you cannot get out of the game until game over, right? And game over in this reality means you're dead.
Yeah.
So how many times have we just got on the treadmill, as you say? So I just got an idea because I love that beautiful Christmas tree behind Sophie too.
I know, it's gorgeous.
And red, we both thought of red, right? I said, let me throw on something red. Can we help people make a wish list for Christmas?
Oh, I don't think we should do that. I think they should all suffer.
Well, maybe that could be one of the things on the wish list, to say something wicked.
How fun would that
say
be?
Something inappropriately wicked and laugh.
I think that is so fun.
I know. I see the joy in your face on that. What else?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Before we do the wish list. It's actually really funny though, because it's 3:30 in the morning for me in Toronto, and I couldn't sleep, so I turned on my phone randomly, and then there was the email, and I'm like, oh, what good timing. So I called you. Anyway, just before, Bill, while you were talking about relationships, so I was in one about a month ago. It was very short, but I had concluded that this was the man that I was asking the universe for, because he kind of fit everything that I thought that I asked for. And I was so grateful that he was there that I kind of was just letting everything go and be okay with certain things that at the time I thought I was okay with. But when it ended and I had time to reflect back, I'm like, you know what, I really wasn't okay with that. I kind of just lost myself a little bit because I was so grateful that it was there. So how can you differentiate between what's really working for you versus what you can let go of and kind of not nitpick at little things? Do you know what I mean? Like certain things weren't working, but I thought they were at the time.
Yeah, I just wrote down that you said, let it go. I just let certain things go and lost myself a little bit. You know, I always find it very interesting in Access where, how did I create this? The question, and knowing that when you say that, there's two things. One, that you are acknowledging that you create everything.
Mm-hmm.
And two, which has to piggyback that immediately, is, so if I created something that's unpleasant for me, I know also that I can create something that is pleasant for me. So, so when you say, how did I create this? It's not about beating you up. It's about looking for those 10 seconds of unconsciousness, which you just said, you know, a certain thing, I know I let certain things go and I lost myself a little bit. Those are the sort of throwaway phrases, which are when we were choosing not to be conscious, you know, about it.
Mm-hmm.
Making a conscious choice to let it go, to lose myself a little bit. And then for me, it's like, and not going into the judgment of us for doing that. Oh, that's so cool about me. I'm always on my game. And I am so flexible that I can even let myself go for a bit, to not be on top of my game. Choose not to be choosing my life. So yeah, and acknowledge that you do that and recognize the energy of that. That's what it is. Oh, what is this? I recognize this energy. Oh, this is when I'm not making choices and something could be going down a path I'm not interested in. Let me just stay vigilant on that and enjoy this ride for the moment. Or I'm going to immediately change the situation. There's a choice there. I don't know. Ladies, you want to address that?
Sure. I to me, it is knowing that you've got a new 10 seconds to make a new choice. One question that I live in a lot is, what's right about this? I'm not getting. What's right about me? I'm not getting. Two questions. Mm-hmm. I totally live by those two questions, and it's the gift is catching yourself in the minute you do go into that sense of divorcing yourself and making a new choice. So for me, it does come totally back to number 4 commandment, you know, is 10-second increments of, number 3 commandment, 10-second increments of choice. And number 2, interesting point of view. I mean, to me, I guess I always come back to the 10 commandments of access. They're such a gift to know that, okay, which commandment am I not being right now? And then it gives you that instantaneous choice to make a new choice.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I add something?
Awesome. Sophie, I love your take too. Yeah.
So one of my favorite tools, actually, and Kass has a great video on Access TV about that. It's light and heavy. And I find that in relationships, it's really easy to confuse heavy with something that's not working. And I tend to be like, to go dramatic in relationships. I tend to be like, oh my gosh, you know, they're doing this, they're doing that, they're hurting me, they're not. Instead of actually looking where the lie is and using the tool of, is this light or is this heavy? So, you know, like, okay, so where am I? If it's heavy, where's the lie in this? Like, where am I lying? And not judging myself for having a lie or having something heavy. Like, what if it was all okay? What if there was nothing wrong with having something heavy also going on?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It totally comes back to gratitude. I mean, to me, it's like when you're grateful for every moment of every day, judgment can't live in gratitude. So you can't judge you for your choices. What if you truly were willing to be grateful for you and your choice, every single choice you make in every moment?
Yeah. No, I'm getting that too. I love that. And I love the gratitude. I thought that's what you were going to say, Sophie. Thank you for mentioning light and heavy. Because you said I've got a great video on, I've got this little video I did and it's on YouTube, like a 2-minute gratitude video. I did it several years ago, but just for the cold on your nose and the, you know, snow on your eyelashes and the, you know, and grateful that, hey, I've got a friend of my mother-in-law's, she is 80. And every year she's got a new boyfriend. I love her. She's
What
got
an
a new boyfriend,
inspiration.
and they're cute, and they take her out, and they take her here, and they take her there, and she's just, you know,
That's awesome.
she's perfect. So what if that's? I love that you had a guy or a gal or whoever it was that you a brief relationship is sometimes really nice.
Yeah.
To spice up, you know, things like Marge was saying, the whole concept of really, I fall in love several times a day usually. I really do. It's just one of the things about me, you know. And it may be a child. Today I fell in love with a little girl. She was so small. She didn't seem like she could be walking. She was so small. Japanese sometimes are really quite small in structure. And then with a doggy in a store that I walked by, you know, and yesterday with, you know, one of the women in my class, and the day before, you know, I mean, I just fall in love all the time. And I really mean in love. Like, it's like, you know, give up. I was ready to take that doggy home and try to figure out how I could get him on the plane. You know, it's like, I lost myself in the doggy. I did.
Yeah. Well, can I just ask one more question about that?
Absolutely.
One of the things that stood out was that he wanted to stay in all the time. And I like to go out. I like to be taken out for dinner. That's just something that I really enjoy. But in my mind, I was so grateful that I had this relationship that I didn't ask for that, because I'm like, well, maybe it's something small. So I kind of brushed that aside. So how do you also ask for what you desire? But at the time, I didn't think that I wanted it anymore. Does that make sense, or am I?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sometimes think I want to be in a house with a big Christmas tree and kids around, and, you know, doing the Christmas shopping in the mall, and the traditional turkey and, you know, Christmas dinner. And then that's when I'm sitting in my hotel room in Tokyo. And then I go upstairs to listen to my girlfriend Karen sing with the beautiful view and Mount Fuji in the background and a glass of champagne. And I'm like, okay, I'm over it.
I guess what I would like to say in that is, what if you didn't require one person to meet all of your needs? Like, what if you also had someone else who just loved taking you out to dinner, and someone else who loved taking you to the movies, or someone else who loved going on long walks? You know, it's how much do we rely on one person to give us everything that we actually need or require or desire?
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing though about the fantasy, the cookie cutter, the father knows best image of the, you know what I mean, the Christmas tree, the turkey, the whole thing, the whole package. You know what I mean, of the Doris Day thing. And the idea, like, Gary says, humanoid women, and I love the question because it totally is the first thing that came to my mind. Humanoid women, for minimum. The one to sit home and watch movies on the couch with. Yum. Right? Love that cuddle. And the elegant dinner, absolutely. Romantic, candlelight at a restaurant. Absolutely. And
5-star Michelin star restaurant.
Michelin star, right? And the museum and the camping and the and the Club Med and the sex.
Yeah.
And they may not all be in the same person.
Exactly.
But it
more
is
often than not, it's not.
What would you say? Can you have Marge and Sophie? Have you ever had that though? The desire for that to all be in one person, and is there a click? This is where I think that maybe we can be. Have you ever had it, first of all, that desire? And is there a click that happens that opens you up to different possibilities with ease without the yearning for that?
Yeah, in my current relationship, I thought that I wanted it all in that one person. And when it didn't happen, I actually was like, okay, so how can I get what I want? Like, what else is possible? And that's where what you guys are talking about showed up. Okay, so maybe I can do this with this person or do that with that person and still have the relationship that I have. Because it just didn't work to ask that person to be everything. It just couldn't.
It can actually be an unkindness to have a demand of someone that they're not willing to actually go there with that. I mean, I realised after 2 marriages that, to me, that was this reality's point of view, that one person had to meet all your needs. So that's how come in the last 30 years I haven't chosen that. It just does not work for me to have one person to meet all the fun things that I'd like to do. But hey, I'm different.
Can I just say though, Marge, that this is I hope I remember what I'm trying to say here. You said it's an unkindness to them.
Yeah.
It's also an unkindness to them if you're not honoring what you want, require and desire,
Yes.
And you might find out, you might even have to, let's say, force yourself into it. But you might force yourself into going out with someone else for dinner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you really want to just stay home and cuddle. But I think that you might find out by going out to dinner with other people that, you know what, okay, I am a little bit over this for the moment. Or you you do get that out of your system or satisfy that desire, and you give that relationship the breathing room to show you something else.
Would you ask the person that, or would you, because what if he didn't know that that's what I required or desired?
You know what I would personally, this is just the way I operate. I would have that in my life anyway, taking myself out and just say, hey, I'm not sure if you like this, but I've got this new restaurant I want to try, and I'm going to get dressed up and go. So I'm happy to go alone. Or if you'd like to come, I'll make dinner reservations for 2.
Okay, yeah. I like
You know
that.
what I mean? So that's an option. You can get out. Oh, that's cool. So don't go alone. What about one of your friends? And then you know he's not interested in that. All right. Would you prefer not?
Yeah.
Manipulation 101. I love
Okay. Yeah.
it. Too cool. I love it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. So that's and is that decadent, Marge?
Absolutely. True decadence is the willingness to do what works for you and to be judged for your choices. That's what true decadence means, which is interesting because decadence in this reality means something totally different. People think decadence is all about having yummy food or wearing yummy clothes, but that's not the true meaning of decadence. So it's the willingness to be judged because you're willing to choose something that totally works for you.
Yeah.
How's
The
it
old
fit
judgment.
together?
Sorry?
Yes. Opulence. What is the definition of opulence?
I knew you were going to ask me that. Can I do some quotes from the book?
Please, please.
Okay. Because I basically know what they are, but every now and again I go, huh? So decadence, the literal meaning from a dictionary, and this is prior 1946, decadence is immoral behavior. It's the willingness to receive everything and hold on to nothing. It is the ability to waste, and if you're willing to waste anything or anyone, no one will own you. Opulence is about the power, wealth, riches, and affluence.
Wow. Can you repeat that, please?
Opulence is about power, wealth, riches, and affluence. All quotes from the
Wow.
book.
Wow.
And there's many more. There's the hedonism or hedonism, depending on what country you were in, and the liveliness, the elegance, the orgasmic living. They're all elements that are really judgeable offences in this reality, and yet they're all elements that if we actually invited them into our lives and lived from them, the ease and the magic that is actually truly possible is beyond your wildest dreams.
Of course. Wow. So everything that doesn't allow that in our lives, and everywhere we are not inviting that, can we just try to create all that?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, short, boys, and beyond. So what decadence and elegance and opulence can we be and receive that would give us the magical choices of possibilities that we so be?
Great question. Do you know, can I say, in writing the book and really investigating these elements, one thing that came to my mind was I have been those energies this entire lifetime. And it's only been really since I've been doing Access that I've really given myself the permission to show up in the world as those elements. Whereas prior to that, like I've always had the hedonism. To me, I've always been willing to look and find the pleasure in everything. I've always been willing to create wealth. I've always been willing to be different and be judged for my difference. And to me, the elegance, putting in the least effort to get the greatest result has been a lot of my life as well. But it's only really now that I guess having the awareness of what these elements are and really acknowledging that, yes, please, I'll have much more of that now. And much more of that is truly showing up. So grateful.
That's so amazing. I always, I always am interested in sharing with people how you make that leap, I guess is what I would call it. That leap from not choosing for you to choosing for you, from out of this contextual reality into immutable laws of this reality into the mutable laws of choice. and everything that means. Because, I was telling people in one of my classes about my first bar sessions that I didn't really feel the bars, etc. And they were so surprised because people think you're born, willing to be you, regardless of anything, which is a little bit what you're saying. You've always were willing to be different and not judged. And judged, sorry.
Well, yes and no. I've always been willing to be different, and most of it I struggled with being judged. It's really only since I've been doing Access that I've realised that it was time to come out of hiding and allow others to judge me and allow myself to receive the judgment. And it's not always easy and it's not always comfortable. But yeah, it's certainly a lot easier now for me than it was, say, when I was growing up.
And is it easier also because you're being you? So, because I always get this idea of, if you're trying to be someone else to accommodate other people's judgments and accommodate what people can't receive, right? And they still judge you anyway, then you lose twice.
Yeah. I love that, yes.
But if you were like, at least you're being me, you'd be like, well, I'm being the best me I know how to be. So if that's not working for you, hey,
Yeah.
So,
Do you know one of the greatest tools that I use constantly is when I have a sense that someone's judging me, I always ask, is this person truly judging me, or am I perceiving their own judgments of themselves? And that was one great tool that I got from, I think, my foundation in Access class, and I use it daily. So
awesome.
Really, when
Awesome
it
tool.
is, because, it really allows you then to perceive the judgment, receive it, and know that you can't truly judge someone unless you've been it and done it yourself and in judgment of yourself for that judgment. So really, are people really judging us, or are we just aware of their own judgments of themselves?
Yeah, exactly. I love that. I love that tool as well. There's so many tools that you get at the beginning of Access whenever you choose to put them to work for you.
Exactly.
That one is huge, and that one that Sophie was talking about, when something sticks you, is it heavy because it's a no, or is there a lie somewhere?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's huge. It's been years. I've known that forever, and I feel like I just am pulling it out and dusting it off.
Yeah.
That too. It's just, okay, I'm stuck and something, this is sticking me. So truth is there a lie somewhere. Just skipping by, going beyond the whole, fuzzy area. Yeah. And I think that's decadent in this reality.
Yes.
Can I also go a little bit further with the judgments? What if we actually enjoy judgments? So what if we actually just wow, this, I'm being judged. How much fun can I have with that?
Yes, can you say more about that, Sophie? Because you said that the other day on our call with the French, and it just excites me somewhere that. Yeah.
So I know that Gary says, sometimes I hear Blossom and Gary say, don't do something in order to be judged. Okay, I get that. And sometimes I'll do something because it's fun for me, like having a Mercedes Benz, and I'm going to get judged for it. And what if I just be like, wow, how cool is it that I'm being judged for having a Mercedes Benz? Like, how much fun can I have with that? So how much taller can I walk? How much sexier can I be because I'm being judged for having a Mercedes Benz? Like, what does that mean? What status do I suddenly have in this reality that I didn't have before because of that judgment? And how can I use that to my advantage? So, they say when you receive a judgment, you make more money that year. So, like, I'm like, okay, so what if I receive that judgment like sexy energy? So being lusted after. Somebody wants something that I have, that's why they're judging me. Or, they wish they were as free as me, that's why they're judging me. So what if I played with that? What if I enjoyed it, had a party with it, invited it even more and increased it? What would that create?
I don't know, but it's certainly making me smile.
Me too.
Wow. So
I've
what if
had
we
two
misidentified and say it again, Marge? I'm sorry.
What about 2 Mercedes? Or 3?
Well, yeah. What if we misidentified it and misapplied as the I want to say the auto response to judgment? That maybe it isn't. Fear of judgment. Might it be excitement of a judgment?
Yeah.
I always ask people, and can they redirect that judgment into their bank account?
I know. Ching ching.
Ching, 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 ching. Yeah. So I've got on the wish list for Christmas, decadence, opulence, judgment, being lusted after, you said, Sophie.
Yeah.
And what about a little lusting after?
I like that. I like that.
Cool.
I did a lot of that today. We went to London. There was a group of 5 of us, and these are all amazing people who've done classes with me and over the last few years. And we had this amazing seafood lunch, and we were sitting in this restaurant overlooking the river, and the city cats were going past, and we had great wine, we had great seafood. And there were some really cute boys in the restaurant, you know. And so every time I look around, there was either a cute waiter or a cute person there to have a meal. And it's like, why wouldn't you lust after everything? It doesn't mean you have to take them home, but you get to lust and have fun. So that is all part of the fun and joy for me.
Yeah, and you know what I find? I find that when you're being you, when you're in the rhythm and the dance of your own life, you look around and everyone's beautiful. Everyone's beautiful. You're like, okay, is the universe just putting the beautiful people in my path, or am I actually seeing beauty everywhere? Yeah. And you know that you're being you with that. Awesome. So cool.
Wow.
So where can we find your book? You're working on a new one too, Marge. And where can we find this one about having your cake and eating it too?
The Having Cake book is on Access Consciousness in the shop, and it's also on Amazon, and it's also on quite a few other online bookstores as well, which there's probably too many to name. I've just had it translated into Turkish, so it will be coming out in Turkish hopefully in the next month or so. It's also being transcribed or translated into Japanese, and there's a possibility of Chinese and some other languages as well.
Awesome. Do you think it'll be in Turkish by mid-January? Because I'm going to be in Turkey in mid-January.
Oh, are you? Well, what would it take?
I'd love to have it available at my classes. I wrote a little book, 7 Steps to Flawless Communication, which will not be in Turkish. But I'd love to have your book.
That would be very cool, actually. So yeah, I've sent everything off, so I'm just really waiting for them to get it into hard copy, and it will also be in e-form as well.
Awesome.
So yeah, but it's nice to have the hard cover, the hard copy, because actually the cover is velvet. I actually am textile, and so I actually did something different and asked for it to be in velvet. So for those who love sensual touch.
Yes, tactile. Nice.
It is. It's a really yummy cover. So I'm so grateful that I chose that too. So what else is truly possible? And then my second book is called Embracing and Celebrating Your Difference. And it really is about empowering people to see that it is okay to be different, and really your willingness to be your difference is where the magic is. Mm-hmm. And what would it take for more of us to step into that magical possibilities?
Indeed. Thank you, Marge. Sophie, so we can where to find you, because I don't know if we have stuff written on the bottom of our images here or anything.
No. You know what? I'm just going to send people to a really cool new website that I just launched, beingwe.com. That's beingOUI.com.
Beingwe.com. I love it. We.
Beingwe.com.
Yes, and if you go to that website, you can speak with a French accent. That is on my wish list too for Christmas. Yes, I speak with a French accent. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
You are such a wildly wicked woman.
Wild and wicked. Marge, where do we find you, baby?
You can find me at the moment. My website is under construction, a new website, and that will be margaretbraunack.com when it is actually launched. In the meantime, pretty much the only way you can find me is on the Access Consciousness website until my own website or new website is launched.
All right, accessconsciousness.com. You can also find
How about you,
Facebook.
Kass? Where do we find
Yes.
you?
KassThomas.com, KassThomas.com, and you can find my 7 Steps to Flawless Communication in English, French, and German on Amazon, Create Space, eBooks, printable, etc. And you can find me a lot on Zoom because I really love this stuff, and I hope you ladies will come play with me again. And I think that we'll have lots of fun people to play with. Yeah.
This is first time. I've just lost my virginity with
You
Zoom.
just lost your Zoom virginity. Zoom, 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 zoom.
Right in time for Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you. Happy Hanukkah and Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Domo arigato gozaimasu. Thank you, Sophie, for staying up so late.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sophie.
And my wish, do you have one last wish for Christmas that we can share with people? A wish for the new year? I wish that everyone be a little bit more of them and find a little bit more of them than they did in 2015.
I wish for everyone to laugh a lot more.
Yeah.
Lots more joy, lots more fun, just lots more gratitude for this beautiful, amazing planet that we live on.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
more
Mom.
sex. More sex.
More sex.
More sex. Well, sex is receiving. Of course we want more
Of course,
sex.
exactly. Walk tall, strut your stuff. All right.
Thank you, Kass.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.